You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Subscribe now. We have new stories every day. Now, let's go. It was a good restaurant. It had always appealed to me because of the atmosphere, cuisine, and acoustics. So many restaurants these days go for that unfinished ceiling look, which kills the acoustics and magnifies and bounces noise levels to the point where you can't really enjoy a relaxing dinner conversation. This was an old house that had been converted into an upscale steak house. The individual rooms had been left intact such that there are 7 separate dining areas on 2 levels, each hosting about 6 tables, nicely spaced to provide a comfortable degree of intimacy. It was a great place for a romantic dinner. Unfortunately, tonight I was not enjoying a romantic dinner. I was having dinner with my wife, Amanda. She and I were seated at a table in one of the lower level dining rooms, and she was fidgeting, rarely looking at me, nervous and frightened, but I could also see determination. I had barely spoken a word since arriving here, only what had been necessary to be seated and order drinks. As I perused the menu, trying to decide between the black filet or the beef tenderloin tornadoes in a bordelaise sauce, I took a pull on my single malt on the rocks and regarded my wife. She was still a physically beautiful woman, smart, successful, and until recently, a woman I would have died for. But I had no passion left for her anymore. She wasn't aware of the change in my attitude, but I would ruin her plans for this evening with that tidbit of news, among others. I'm Mark Archer Bull, 49 years old, and a reasonably successful software account executive, married 28 years to the stranger now seated opposite me. Mark? Amanda said quietly. Yes, Amanda, I sighed. I wanted to talk with you about something. Well, that will make a pleasant change, Amanda. She eyed me with a little perturbation, twisting her mouth in annoyance. I hoped my attitude would resolve her nerves and get her to finally spit out what I knew she wanted. Yes, well, thank you for your sarcasm, Mark. It has always endeared me to you. Thank you, Amanda, but I wasn't being sarcastic in that instance. I didn't elaborate. I held her stare, taking another pull on my scotch until she looked off to the left and watched our waiter approaching. I didn't wait for the lady to order first as I normally would have. Instead, as the waiter gained the table, I handed him my menu and ordered the black filet with Spanish rice. Amanda, discomforted by my obvious disregard for gentility, scanned her menu quickly before deciding on a salad. Who orders a salad at an award-winning steakhouse? With the waiter gone, Amanda again fixed me with her gaze. Mark, I have been thinking a lot lately about you, about me, well, about us, and I wanted to discuss my thoughts with you. There is, by God's grace, an immeasurable difference between late and too late, I replied. Excuse me, Amanda inquired. A day late and $1 short, I sighed. You are always willing to holler down the rain, Amanda. Holler away. You are being less than helpful, Mark. I am serious. What did you want to talk about, Amanda? There's really no easy way to say this. I slowly rotated my glass, wisping the condensation up and away with my thumb and finger on either side as I turned it. Just say what's on your mind. Well, I want to try a period of separation, she gushed out. Nothing permanent, Mark, just an opportunity for me to explore my thoughts further. I'll get in apart. No, I said. She suddenly looked directly at me, shocked, a wisp of her blonde hair falling in her face as she jerked her head up too quickly. Excuse me, what do you mean, no? A separation would be good for us. It would help me fall back in love with you. Amanda, I don't want you to fall back in love with me. I smiled, not a smile of love or triumph or condescension, but an endearing smile. A smile you might use to humor a child arguing passionately for another 10 minutes of play before bed. I have no patience for your trying to justify your bad behavior, Amanda. You want a separation so you can explore things with my replacement. So which came first, the falling out of love with me or the permission you gave yourself to cast about for my replacement? What the hell are you talking about, Mark? I have not replaced you, and I am not looking to replace you. You have to agree that our marriage has been stale, and I think some time apart would help us to determine how we fix that and get back to where we were. Yes, Amanda, our marriage is stale. Actually, it is past stale, and I alone have tried for the past 2 years to change that. Unfortunately for us, there was only one person working on this marriage until recently, and now there are 3. Of course, those 3 have been working at cross purposes. I raised my hand to forestall the objection I saw coming. You have replaced me, Amanda. You have cheated on me. And now you want me to accept an arrangement where you can explore that relationship further. You want to separate to explore your relationship with Eric, not your relationship with me. I will not allow that to happen. She was angry now, twisting her napkin in her hands and glaring at me. She quietly hissed, You're wrong. I have not cheated on you with Eric, and he is not your replacement. What you mean to say, Amanda, is that you have not yet slept with Eric, but you most definitely have cheated on me with him, and you have replaced me with him. She looked uncomfortable. Keep your voice down, Mark. There is no need to broadcast our issues. Why, Amanda? You already have. Tell me, Who have you spoken to about this idea of separation besides me? She was looking very uncomfortable now. Well, I may have had a discussion or two with Eric about it. Just then, our meals arrived. And so you're discussing our marital issues with Eric before you discuss them with me. Is that not cheating me? Arriving in a course of action for our marriage with Eric and then telling, not asking, telling me about your decision is not cheating me. Eric has had more input into my marriage than I have. She was silent, seething as our dishes were placed in front of us. I winked at the young female server, who looked a little uncomfortable herself. Again, Amanda hissed at me, "You make it sound so sordid, Mark." Eric is a friend, a willing listener and sounding board who has been nothing but kind, considerate, and helpful. He is someone I can count on. He understands me, appreciates me, and doesn't judge me. Our waiter arrived to check on our well-being. It is sordid, Amanda. You are an adulteress. You are insulting my intelligence, our marriage, and our past, and you have ruined our future. Eric is slicker than a boiled onion, and he needs peeling. I would have thought you would have cheated up, not down. Yes, thank you, I chirped to our waiter as he patiently waited for me to cut my filet and agreed that it had been cooked as I requested. I don't appreciate what you're doing, Mark, Amanda said, clearly feeling ill at ease discussing this so openly. I am not a cheater. I have not cheated, and you are wrong about Eric. As a matter of fact, I think you really like him. He's a lot like you in so many ways, Mark. Well, I am glad that in your mind, Eric and I are interchangeable, Amanda. You'll never know the amount of comfort I get from that. I paused. I think you've lost your mind, and for the record, in all the ways that matter, Eric and I are nothing alike. I don't insinuate myself into other people's marriages in order to salvage them. I don't screw other men's wives, and I certainly won't play his games. You have cheated on me, Amanda. You go to Eric with your problems and triumphs. You discuss our personal lives with him, seek his advice, company, and companionship. All things you have stopped sharing with me. You are a cheater who hasn't spread her legs yet, and you make me sick. I glared at her shocked expression, took a bite of my filet and chewed it appreciatively, put my fork down and took a sip of water. I looked up at Amanda, who was regarding me thoughtfully. Clearly, this news has hurt you, Mark. I didn't intend to hurt you, really. God damn it, Amanda. You are one bubble off plum. You knew full well that cheating on me would hurt me, which is why you kept it a secret. You didn't intend to hurt me? Well, you didn't intentionally try to keep me from harm either. I pushed my plate aside, pulled out my wallet, and dropped $200 on the table. As I rose from the table, I downed the rest of my scotch, looked down at Amanda, and said, I will not allow a separation, Amanda. I have filed for divorce. Epilogue. We did divorce. Amanda fought it hard, requesting counseling and ridiculous terms. She refused to sign the divorce papers or bargain in good faith, demanding that I meet with her to discuss our marriage. I refused. I told her I would speak with her after the divorce was final and not a second before. I did want to avoid a contentious split so we could be civil around our kids and grandkids, but I wanted a divorce and eventually I got it. We split everything right down the middle and I walked away. Amanda sent me a nasty note demanding to know why I had just given up on our marriage and hadn't fought for her. How do you respond to that level of crazy? In response, I sent her a private picture of her with Eric. She had kindly sent me the picture 3 days after I walked out of the restaurant. She hadn't yet slept with Eric when we had our dinner date. It took 2 whole days after our date. What restraint they had. I never heard back from her on that subject. I don't date much. I'm no Casanova, and as long as I get my ashes hauled every now and again, I prefer my own company or the company of my kids, grandkids, and close friends. My kids sided with Amanda initially. They couldn't understand what it was that she did that was so wrong. I felt like I had failed as a father. I explained my position to them, asking them that if their spouse had clearly stopped loving them and started a relationship with someone else, would they be accepting? Would they accept a separation so their errant spouse could explore the adulterous relationship without the guilt or inconvenience a spouse was likely to provide? Well, I couldn't. I wouldn't. Amanda had refused any serious attempt at trying to resolve our marital issues, and rather than discuss them with me, she found someone else to confide in, someone else to plot the future of my marriage with, and that was simply unacceptable. In the end, my kids understood, and our relationship improved, while their relationship with their mother soured slightly. Amanda and I are both less happy and happier simultaneously. We're less happy because we're alone, but we're more happy because we managed to navigate a way forward independently. But move forward we did. Amanda remarried and divorced again within 2 years of our divorce. No, she and Eric didn't marry and, in fact, never slept together other than that one time. I don't know or care why. I never remarried. I took an early retirement and moved to the country where I remain to this day. I am happy not to have to burn energy on a woman who doesn't deserve or want it, but I do miss the woman I married and what I thought we might share together. I mourned the loss of that as I celebrated escaping a loveless marriage to a woman I no longer knew, respected, or loved. We had many good years, but they fizzled, and Amanda ultimately checked out. I was the one who pulled the plug on our marriage, but she was the one who shot it. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Life is hard.